Hey there, I'm Boone Christensen and welcome to 5 Minutes of Therapy. Today we're going to talk about the misunderstandings about chemical imbalances and genes, which can actually be pretty detrimental to somebody's mental health and progress. So first, chemical imbalance. This term started to become popular in the 70s and 80s as we were starting to gain an understanding of brain hormones and neurotransmitters. And the idea to tell people that anxiety and depression are biological diseases resulting from chemical imbalances was designed to reduce the stigma about mental illness, to reduce the idea that it's a fault of character if you become mentally ill. What we are finding now is that, one, if you believe that your mental illness is caused by a chemical imbalance or some other biological reason, you are less likely to get better. This evidence disproving the idea that it is entirely biological. But it's also more stigmatizing because then the people around you don't believe that you can change either because it is a biological problem. And the other issue is that the evidence is showing that this idea is actually not well supported. There are many people with depression who have no abnormal, neurotransmitter balances, and many people who have mental or who don't have mental illness but have abnormal chemical imbalances. So the evidence is not strong. And even if it was a sign of the mental illness, it would more than likely be a symptom of it, meaning that I could induce a chemical imbalance by sending a soldier off to war for a year, or by yelling at a child consistently, or by bullying someone at school. These kinds of events can create hormonal imbalances inside someone and cause anxiety and depression. Another evidence is that psychotropic medications that seek to alter brain chemicals have not great evidence to support them. Most of them average having just a slight effect above placebo. So that is the chemical imbalance idea. And what about genes? What role do genes play in mental illness? Well, the best evidence we have is from twin studies right now, where we just look at the likelihood that a twin will develop a mental illness if the other twin has it. And what we've got from the best twin study to date on this with a large sample is that even the most severe kind of mental illness, like schizophrenia in that category, only has a 50 to 60% chance of commonality. Meaning if one twin is diagnosed with schizophrenia, there's a 50 to 60% chance that their identical twin will also have schizophrenia. What this shows that at best, genetics account for that much of the mental illness. But these studies cannot account well for shared environment or gender or twins that are separated at birth. And so they don't actually give us a good idea of how much genes play into this. What they're telling us is just an observation and it has to be correlational. What we do know is that the brain continues to change over the course of the lifespan. A lot of us thought that, well, the brain stops developing at 25 and it's just downhill from there. The answer is no. We continue to generate neurons well into old age, especially if we are keeping ourselves healthy. Things like exercise and proper diets, healthy fats, eating your leafy greens, that will keep your brain growing throughout your life. It can keep changing. And that even if somebody did develop some sort of genetic predisposition to mental illness, their environment can mitigate that. We know that we can change our gene expression due to experience. So, quick example of this. Imagine somebody were born with, say, an inflated anxiety response. If that little child, cried a lot and got angry a lot and was met with opposition, getting yelled at, being told that it's not okay to cry, being told that they are bad for crying or getting angry, that anxiety response would actually increase. It would grow more intense. Or if not, the numbing depressive response would grow in intensity. Whereas if that child was validated for having their feelings and was made to feel safe while having that intense anxiety response, the response itself would actually decrease. The brain is adaptable and it will change according to its environment to a great extent if we let it. So those are the misconceptions about genes and chemical imbalances. Please post questions and comments and ask me if you would like to access the research directly, and I can help you with that.